This looks like a job for Superman.
Hey everybody, Rez the Collector here with another action figure review. Today we're taking a look at the new 52 Power Girl from the Power Girl Huntress 2-pack that recently came out from DC Collectibles. Now, I did pick this figure up as a loose figure when I was at Chicago Comic-Con. I was extremely happy to find her as a loose figure because I really didn't want to pick up the 2-set. Because I would have kept Huntress, because I do have a small Batman collection. Excuse me, guys. But I really didn't want to pay that kind of money for it. And I actually ended up getting this Power Girl and another Supergirl for like 30 bucks. So it wasn't really that bad of a deal, especially for one of them was an older Supergirl that I didn't have, and of course a figure that just came out. Now, like with just about everybody's, this Power Girl had some issues, namely being paint issues and a broken arm right away. Her right arm, left for you guys, snapped off when I was trying to rotate it. She, of course, had her arms on backwards, but all you had to do was rotate the bicep, and that seems to be every single one of these that are coming out. Everybody's like freaking out of her arms are on backwards, her arms are on backwards. Just rotate her fucking biceps, guys. That's all you got to do, and hey, look, they're right. But the rotation on the forearm and that right arm, when I was trying to rotate it to get it to look correctly, it just snapped off. So that has been glued into place. Other than that, the only real issues I have is she's got kind of a weird leg that I can fix with the heating trick. I just haven't done it yet. And then the paint issues. And the paint issues, thankfully, are an easy fix. Basically, what it is there's a lot of little red spots on her white costume. And I've already fixed a few of those, and a few I got to go back and refix, because once it dried, I can still see some of the red through it. But one of the places was on her underboob, and as you can see, I have fixed that. Her arms were pretty bad, and you can still see a little bit there that I need to go back and fix again. But I have, for the most part, cleaned her up, and she does look a lot better. So I know a lot of people haven't been happy with this figure, but now that I've cleaned her up, I'm much happier with the figure as a whole. This is actually my first Power Girl figure out of package. I do have a very small, well, not very small, but the basically the 4-inch Infinite Heroes in Your Hand Power Girl. I do have her, but other than that, I had absolutely no representation of Power Girl in my collection. So I was really ecstatic to get this figure because now I have a representation of Power Girl. I do have quite a few Supergirls, and of course they are basically all the same person, Kara Zor-El. But Power Girl, who really is from Earth 2, has a distinctive history of her own. So I hate linking her up with Supergirl because even though they're both Kara Zor-El, Power Girl has, like I said, a very distinctive and elaborate history of her very own. And to completely just link her with Supergirl does her... I can't think of the word I want to use. A disservice. There we go. That was just one popping in my head. Does her a disservice because she deserves her own identity, basically. So this is my only representation of Power Girl in my collection, and I'm really, really happy to have her. So let's go ahead and take a closer look at the figure herself, or itself, whatever. The face is done pretty decently. She's relatively pretty. Now, being blonde, her eyebrows really blend in with the face itself. And she is another representation of them trying to do a dirty brown, but instead of getting just a darker blonde or darker blonde color, it just looks like her hair is dirty, and that I really don't care for. From a distance, it's fine, but when you get close up, it looks like it's dirty. The eyes are nice. The facial sculpture itself is nice. The costume, of course, this is closer to the original Power Girl costume, but is not the first costume that the new 52 Power Girl wore. Her first costume was just amazingly terrible, and DC right away figured out, okay, we got to ditch this and let's just reinvent the old Power Girl costume so that we can kind of give fans what they want with and still an updated look. So they went back to more of a standard costume. They reopened up the boob window. And maybe that's what the fans were all complaining about wasn't a boob window. But, I mean, that wasn't it. I've seen this other costume, of course, in comics. And also I've seen the figurine, the little lead figurines by Eagle Moss. And it's not a good costume. It's really not. In this new interpretation of the old Power Girl costume is great. They, of course, still have that boob window. We've got that better cape on her again. It's got the armor lines on the gloves. I like the way that the new belt goes. It doesn't actually connect to each other. It just goes on the hips. I like the new armored-looking boots. I love the Romanesque cape. I like the lines in the costume, so it's not just a flat white outfit. She does have some nice lines in there. So I really do like the way that they changed the figure up and got us some new distinctive look for a classic costume. Now we were talking about the sculpt. The entire body sculpt I think is decent in and of itself. She does have some extremely long legs, which I'm fine with. Doesn't really bother me too much. I think it looks weirder when they do a male with really long legs. Anybody who's seen one of the new Man of Steel statues, I think it was one of the most recent ones shown that's going to be coming out in the future. He's got really long legs and a short torso. And I'm still going to be picking it up because I will be, even though there's some figures in this line that I'm not looking forward to, or some statues in the line I'm not looking forward to, I will still be picking them up because I will have the entire Man of Steel line. But on a female, it doesn't look that bad to have extremely long legs and a shorter torso. So I really do like the way that the figure looks. I know a lot of people had a lot of issues with it, but the figure could have been a lot worse. Might not be the greatest figure, but it could be worse. So let's take a look at articulation. She does have a ball-jointed head. We get good down movement, not a lot of up. The way the hair is, it's kind of stopping her basically at front forward. We're not going to get a whole lot of up movement out of that. That's about the best you're going to get. She's got, of course, ball-jointed shoulders. She's got that bicep rotation, guys. That's all you got to do is turn her arm around. She does have swivel at the elbow, and she does have a rotation here at the forearm. Now, I'm not going to try rotating this one. It's fine the way it is because this one, again, snapped off when I was trying to rotate it. She doesn't have very much in the way of movement for legs. She can go back just a tiny bit, and she can go forward to about there. And of course, she does have a bend at the knee, and she's got a rocker here at the ankle. Not a whole lot of articulation, but again, I'm fine with that. I am going to heat treat her leg to get it a little bit straighter, because as you can see, it's kind of got a little banana thing going on there. But she still stands pretty well for having banana leg. Give you a good 360 of this. Now, another thing that my figure ended up having that I think is one of the reasons it ended up going for a single is it had come unglued. As you can see here, the pegs that go into the back are here. You can see a little of the white paint on here. I was doing a touch-up, and this was very much red here, and I had fixed that. And again, a little here on the butt that I need to go ahead and touch up. I may just leave it because, honestly, you're not going to see the figure from the angle that she's displayed. So I might just end up leaving that as is. I cleaned up the majority of the red that you could see from the front, and I'm happy with that. But, yeah, definitely her cape was disconnected. Her arms were still in that backwards fashion, which I still can't get over people saying that, you know, there's putting out broken figures when all you have to do is rotate the bicep. And mine has a little bit banana leg. All things that I can live with are easily fixed. I wasn't happy about the arm breaking. I will admit that. That kind of pissed me off. But I was able to glue it back on, and it's in basically a decent position. I really don't need to rotate that arm at all. I mean, it'd be nice to get some different posing out of her, but as for the way it stands, it's fine. So let's get a good 360 on her. There's the boots. That nice low-hanging cape. And then, of course, back to the front. Now, again, this is my only representation of Power Girl, and I do like the figure. I'm not overly enthusiastic about it. I'm really hoping that the new 52 Supergirl we get is going to be far superior, but I'm happy to have her in my collection. There's some other past Power Girls that I would like to pick up at some point, but they're not a priority. Even though she is a large part of the Superman mythos, I don't feel the need to pick up a great many of her like I have with the Supergirl figures, because, and I think the main thing for me is she doesn't bear the S. Everything that bears the S is going to have a much more attractiveness to me to want to purchase than something that does not bear the S. Though she's still Kara Zor-El, though she's still a huge part of the Superman mythos, not having that S is still kind of puts her on the back burner. But if you were looking at picking up the Supergirl Huntress 2-pack, or you can find her loose, I recommend getting her. She's a great addition to any collection. I'm not going to tell you to go out and buy a crappy figure, so I am still relatively happy with the figure, even though there's been some issues with it. But when you buy loose, I mean, you got to expect some issues. So I'm not upset about the figure in any way, really, now that I've been able to fix all my issues. I know I keep talking over and over again. Sorry, guys. But if you were thinking about this and you've let other people's opinions kind of pull you back out of it, of course, you don't need to listen to mine any more than theirs, but it's a good figure to have in your collection, especially if you're just a small poser or a museum stance kind of statue, or figure, having them displayed in that way. It's a good one to have. But of course, you got to make up your own mind, and I realize I'm kind of rambling here. Sorry, guys. Medication's kicked in a little bit. But I, of course, want to thank you guys for watching. This is Rez the Collector. Please rate, comment, and subscribe. One last thing. I am coming up on my 1-year anniversary very, very soon. I believe it was the 20th of September of 2013 when I uploaded my very first video. So I am planning some kind of contest. I haven't figured out what it's going to be yet. But I've also got a prize already in mind. Hopefully I'll be able to get that to come true as well. But I will be letting you guys know what the contest is, what the giveaway is, and hopefully you guys will all enjoy it. Maybe get some new subscribers to the channel, new viewers, and yeah. So, as always, guys, thank you very much for watching, and have a wonderful day.